Hello, my lovely quantums. My name is Karin Tobiason, and welcome to Firefly Readings with Karin. This is the channel that I answer all of your questions. So I've got a couple of questions here that I'm going to go ahead and address. If you resonate, if you like what you hear, please subscribe and subscribe and share. It will really help the channel. So without further ado, let me get started with these questions. I have a beautiful question here. Are we perceiving more so that we can allow more in? I love this question, and thank you for asking. And so as many of you already know, that have been on this path for some time, on your spiritual journey, your spiritual path, developing your spiritual gifts. It does appear that many people are starting to perceive a lot more. They're having epiphanies. They're having a lot more information come in. They just kind of feel like they're having, movement forward with their own personal healing. So, yes, we are perceiving more so that we can allow more. And what my guides are actually telling me, and they want you to know, is there's a lot more coming in right now than has come in. It's cyclical, but right now, all of the planets are lined up. Everything is lined up so that those of us who have been on this path are feeling like we're finally gaining some traction. We're really moving forward quickly. And I also want to say for many of us, it's very comfortable. We are relieved. And there are also some of us that are kind of feeling like, oh, what is this? I don't understand what this is. And so my guides just want you to know that, yes, there's got a lot more light on the planet than we are used to bringing into our bodies. Most of it I refer to as our star family and or star families, plural, that are just as we become more aware and heal ourselves and send all of this beautiful consciousness up to them, they are sending out a lot more light to help us move on our journey. So, quiet down, be very aware of all of your thoughts, be very aware of especially your emotions when all of this energy is coming in. And as most of you know who have heard me speak, if you don't like how it feels, if you don't like the thought and it is causing worry, concern, fear, or anything that is not bliss, which is not hope, which is not comfort. All we need to do is invoke the very first law, spiritual law, according to me, just send it right back into the darkness. Take a deep breath and get back into your body. So what is actually happening right now on the planet at this time is there's a lot of light coming in. Many of us who have been on our path for a long time, we have, in fact, already had several, I'm going to just call it walk on the dark side of our soul, where that was the walk that we needed to go inward. We needed to reevaluate every habit, pattern, and belief that we had. We needed to determine which ones are no longer going to serve us moving forward, and we needed to release those, sending them back to the light to be transmuted back to love and light, taking a couple of breaths in and just making some space for the new. So many of us have already gone through this process. And the light is coming down even longer. And the guides want you to know, for those of you who have been on this path for a very long time, the way to get off of the walk of the dark side of your soul is release all attachment to everything. It is an act of utter courage. It is really, really brave. You might feel like, oh no, I need to hold on to this because if not, I'm going to die. You're not going to die. But that is actually what you're being asked to do. Your guides are being gentle. Your team, your guide, your angels, gods and goddesses, archangels, ascended masters, God, all there is actually helping you do this. Most of you know that you've come here to bring peace on earth. And the way that you bring peace on earth is you heal yourself and you find your own peace, and your light expands and reaches out and literally searches for anybody out on the planet right now who is feeling afraid, feeling vulnerable, feeling as if they're in danger, and you just breathing in and breathing out your beautiful inner peace that you've been working on for so long will literally blanket the will combine with everybody else's and will blanket this beautiful planet. And for anybody who's praying for peace right now, your little piece of peace will find that broken little crack in their auric field and will come in, give them the peace that they need for the few seconds for them to take their own deep breath, feel the hope for maybe one of the first times. So yes, you're getting hit with a lot of energy. You're getting hit with a lot of light. And it is for you to look at the darkness as your friend. And all that it is it's just showing you what needs a little bit more love and or what needs to be released. And that's all that's going on. I'm also they also want me to talk about this light coming on the planet and dumping on so much stronger than it has in a very, very long time. But what we are also witnessing are those beings who have not been on a spiritual path as you have. They have they have just been on a completely different movement forward. If you've been on a spiritual path for quite some time, you're an older soul, you've been here many, many times, you're a very advanced soul. And some of these souls, they may not have been here for a long time. They may not have been here for as long as you have, as many times. And right now they are being hit with this light. And in order for them to get on their spiritual path and move forward, we can see many of them struggling with this a lot. We only have two choices while we're here. We either feel love or we feel fear. And so your job is to only feel love. And when you feel the fear, send it back to the light. And you're helping all of these other beautiful beings that don't have the wisdom that you do, that are being hit with the light. Their fear is ramping up to the point where they're almost psychotic. Many will literally opt to step over at this time and say, nope, I can't do it. But it is our job as light workers, as healers, to allow them to witness our choice in love. We are all faced with the same spooky wookies. We're all faced with everything that's happening on this planet right now. But our job is to witness, to allow them to witness what choosing love feels like. So everybody's getting hit. It's a very, very intense time. And my guides also just want me to honor every one of you who have been on your path. And they also want you to have love and patience in your heart for those who are just learning this lesson right now. It's very hard. So thank you for that question. The next question I have is, what's my purpose in life? Thank you for this question. Your purpose in life at this time, on the planet at this time, is to grow your soul. And what that means is it is to do a fierce self-inventory. It is taking all of the things that you have learned, all of the habits, patterns, and beliefs that you have picked up along the way, all the fears, all the spooky wookies, all the people telling you, who do you think you are? You're not good enough. Who do you think you are? You're not smart. No, you don't. What do you mean you want to do X, Y, Z? Do you want to starve? You're never going to make it if you do that. Nobody in our family does that. And all of those non-truths. And our purpose in life is we come in knowing exactly what we want, what we're going to do, how we're going to do it, and we make a choice as to how wide and how expansive we are going to grow our souls. Many of us choose to come in. We choose our soul family, and everybody takes a role to either help you along and I always call it kind of brush the path in front of you, or they choose to come in and trigger you to the point where you are in so much pain, you have no other options than to just give yourself a little bit more love. So what's your purpose in life? Is your purpose is to expand. You come down. You know you're all powerful. You know exactly what you're here to do. You know exactly what you love. You know what you're good at, and you have no fear of it. So you come down and you have all of that knocked out of you. You get traumatized so that you can actually experience what it feels like on planet Earth to not know you have any power, to not know that you don't have this beautiful, light, powerful being that can create anything in the world. And thought by thought, emotion by emotion, energy to energy, you heal absolutely everything within yourself for you to get back in touch with what you love to do. And the best way for you to really get in touch with that, if you really cannot remember, go back to being a child. And how did you play and what did you do? And look for the common threads. What did you love doing? What did you love spending your time doing when you had nothing else to do? Number one. Number two, what were you aware of and got a lot of outside feedback, maybe, on what you were just naturally good at, where you just like you stepped in to do it the very first time. Let's say you were given an easel, you were given this big piece of paper and some paints, and you just went in and you painted this wonderful thing, and people came around and said, wow, you're so good. You're so good at this. How are you so good at it? It looks like you've been doing this forever. And hint, hint, you have. It's what you're just naturally really good at. So really kind of connect back to what that is. And then know that you have been wounded to the point where you are afraid of what you want. You might be afraid of what you know. You might be afraid of who knows what pieces of it. And so the very third part of determining your purpose in life is determining your greatest fear, overcoming that greatest fear, And then you step into your power. And I don't want that to be like, okay, you need to go into, the gladiator ring with the lions. I'm just saying that if you have a fear of being killed, if you are seen or heard, if you feel like you are going to be persecuted for speaking your truth, if you feel like you have no power in the world and you're going to be killed for not having that, then your job is going to be, what is it that you love to do? What is it that you love to do? And they want you to stick one little toe into the pool of water and show your brilliance off. And the way that we do it is like, oh, I'm not ready. I need to take another class. I'm afraid people are going to laugh at me. I'm afraid they're going to make fun of me. I'm afraid I'm going to die if I do that. And every time you have one of those feelings like, I'm going to die, I'm afraid, you don't need to know the past life Akashic fears and where that all comes from. All you need to know is the very first law, spiritual law on this planet, is everything sent back to the light must go. And they also want you to know, there was a famous psychologist or psychiatrist who stated this, and pardon me for not remembering his name, but he said that anxiety is excitement without breathing. So always remember, if you feel vulnerable, if you feel afraid, you're not breathing. So go ahead and just take in a couple of breaths until you find that relaxation and that calm again. And go ahead and take that very first step into the pool of the spooky wookies. And take a little step. You don't have to take a big one, just a little tiny step. It may kind of feel like all you're going to do is grab your shaking guts in your hand. You're going to say, okay, I command all of this fear to go back to the light, to be transmuted back to love. Right now, I'm going to take a nap. And when I wake up from my nap, I am going to grab, if I have shaking guts in my hands still, I'm going to take them in my hands. And I'm going to count to 3. And on the count of 3, I'm going to jump into the middle of the ocean. I'm going to sink to the bottom. I'm probably going to die within 20 seconds. So let's go. 1, 2, 3, jump. And you're going to realize that that ocean is probably just a little mud puddle. You're going to splash, and you will have overcome the first part of that fear. That is what you do every time you overcome part of that and step back in and remember your power, remember who you are. That is your purpose of life right now. Your goal is to overcome every fear, expand so greatly. Every fear is gone. You're just expanding, that many, many years from now, when you step over and you're up into heaven, and you know what I'm talking about when I'm saying heaven, that you go angel wing shopping for the largest angel wings in every color, in every frequency, and in every tone, because you will have expanded so greatly. It would have taken you 100 years, 100 other lives to come in and grow as much as you have the ability to do on this one. You wouldn't have fought so hard to be here. You wouldn't be here if you didn't have everything that you needed in order to make this beautiful journey. So that's your purpose in life. Have fun, love yourself, love everything, send step back to the light that keeps you stuck, and you're doing just beautifully.